Hi guys, welcome back to A Dose of Dev. So in this vlog, I'll be going over the procedure I had to take before coming to Jamaica, and also I'll be showing you guys how it was going back to Canada. Before going to Jamaica, I had to complete an application. Everyone has to complete the application, whether you're a national of Jamaica or not. And this is what it would look like if you go to the page. I also add the link below if you're interested. After submitting your application, it takes about a day or less to get an approval, and when you do get your approval, it will send you a code, and then that code will be like your travel pass in a way. So when you go to the airport, you have to provide it to them before you're even allowed to board the plane. Keep in mind that this is my experience, and I went to Jamaica July 1st, so right now we're in September, so the rules are different. I know now it depends on the area you're coming from. You are required to do pre-testing, some aren't. So as soon as we landed, a health professional came on the plane and basically just gave us a summary of their rules and everything. As soon as we came off the plane, there was more health professionals, soldiers, and they're all in like full PPE, and literally every few meters somebody was giving you sanitizer. Before getting our luggage, we had to go through this clinic-like thing, which they asked us a few questions, and they also took our temperature. And if your temperature was high, then you would do a test right there and then. And if not, they would give you 2 days for you to go to a hospital or somewhere else to go get your testing done. We finally got to the luggage area. They instructed us to download an app, and this is what the app looks like. So within this app, it shows you the number of cases. When I first got there in July, I think there was like 700 total and 3 or 4 deaths. But by the end of August, I don't know what happened. The cases just kept rising and rising and rising. So in this app, they would instruct you to input your code, and that's how they would track you, by using your cell phones. But a lot of people just started to disobey that, leave their phones at home. That also played a role with the increase in cases. It's always a good idea to download this app ahead of time, and also when you're in there, you can apply straight from the app. After you click the link, it will prompt you to enter your email, and from that they will send a code to your email, which then you would input and then follow the steps, and from there, within a couple hours to a day, you'll receive your confirmation. Very important to apply, because I know when I was at the airport, someone couldn't get in because they didn't apply and they had to sit and wait. So you don't want that happening to you if you decide to go to Jamaica. So apply and wait. And also, if they do deny you, you have to wait, I think either a week or a month. I forgot the length of time, but you do have to wait a little while. Okay, so now it's quarantine time. So their rules are you have to have a separate room, a separate bathroom, and all of that. And if you have to interact with people, you have to be wearing your mask. So those are basically their rules, and you have to stay home, obviously. So you know how I said they gave me 2 days for me to go do my test. So the first day I didn't go, I went the second day. But yo, this gets me so mad. They're so unorganized. When I got to the hospital, there was no sign instructing you like where to go if you're doing this. So my stepdad and I was like looking everywhere, like everywhere. They're so unorganized. It's so irritating. And also what I was wearing, they're like, oh, you can't come in the hospital with that. I was literally wearing like a jumper. It wasn't even short because it was like spaghetti straps, and apparently they don't approve you wearing that in the hospital. I was like, what? Like, if you have the certain rules like that, you should put it on the paper, and it makes no sense to me. Because they knew my stepdad, and they let me in, whatever. So I find the area that they do the testing, and then I spoke to the lady, and apparently they're not doing testing that day. So I was like, wait, this is the last day I can do it. I was getting so mad. So she decided to be nice, and she did it later, so I had to wait like 5 hours, and then come and do the test, because when they perform the test on somebody, then they have to go home for the rest of the day. So those are their rules. So I appreciate her for doing that, but the system, they should have had things way more organized, because that's ridiculous. Now with the actual testing. So you know how you think they would just, okay, put it in your nostril, that's it. She put it through both nostrils, then she did my throat, and then they took blood. I'm like, yo, I wasn't warned about all these things. I knew about the nostril and the throat. When they took blood, I was like, what? I wasn't prepared for this. So now I'm home, and in my head I'm like, oh, they're not gonna actually come check on me, because I know of people that came down and they never checked on them. Boom, the second day, they're calling my phone. So they actually did come to my house twice. And I was like, why am I so unlucky? All these people came down. I haven't heard of anybody that actually got checked on. But me, they were checking on me like yearly, 3 times a day. So they call me to get my temperature and all of that. And also in the app, you have to put your temperature there, and you have to record a video and send it to them like twice a day or 3 times a day, something like that. So I was doing these things 3 times. I was doing it on the phone, I was writing on the paper, and they were also calling me. I am like, the phone is more than enough, okay, and then maybe the paper. But like, why are you guys calling me? Why are you calling me? My name had like some red highlight on it, because I haven't heard anybody experience this. Like, if you actually experience this, comment below, because everybody else, they just chill at home and submit on the phone and write on the paper. Once I was late to submit a video, or forgot about it or something like that, so they called me, and the lady's tone, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm positive, because she was scaring me. She was acting like something bad happened. I was so over them. Like, I think the thing that irritated me the most was the fact that I was actually following their rules, and people weren't. Like, other people just left their phones and living their best life. What about checking on them? They're checking on me that actually stayed home. Bruh, if they would just take that time and call other people. During this, I took some online classes, so I didn't really care that I was staying home. And then after I was finished my exam, my quarantine ended, I was out. I got to go to the beach, the river, and all of that. But also, if you're going to a hotel, then your rules are different. You don't have to quarantine as long as if you're going in communities. And if you select business, instead of waiting 2 weeks, it's 48-hour wait, and then you get your results, and then you're good to go. So it depends. It totally depends on where you're going and what you're doing.
Right, so now the girl just a fade down, never gonna stop. Yeah. My turn. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Even the river that we went to, you had to submit an application ahead of time with the amount of people that will be in your group, and when we arrived there, they placed us in like a specific area with a certain distance away from other groups. And even with the water, they instructed us on exactly like where we're allowed to go. So we felt pretty safe knowing that they did that extra work. It's time to go home after a bit over 2 months. I'm a little sad, but I'm also excited to go home. I'll miss Jamaica. Until next year. This is super cool. They actually used the fabric. It's so beautiful. So nice. So these are some of our athletes and musicians. One of my all-time favorites, Damian Marley. Right now, my nails are just breaking off one by one. I knew I should have took them off. I should have took them off ages ago. Usually when you're in the airport, it's like packed. People are here, like everywhere. You would usually see people. Now, obviously, you don't see anybody but myself, so it's pretty empty. I'm starting to wonder if I'm like the only one on the flight, because I really haven't seen anybody, and I'm not that early. Right now I have about an hour left, and at least I should see maybe 5 or 10 people. Haven't seen no one yet. Nobody. And my gate's right there, which is gate number 9. When I was coming down from Canada, our flight was completely packed, because that's when they lifted the division between seats. So last minute, the plane was packed. Completely packed. And I'm just assuming this one's gonna be totally empty. Wow, I'm finally not alone. Jamaica used to have an airline called Air Jamaica, but then they sold it out to somebody else, and now it's called Caribbean Airlines. I'm not sure who they sold it out to, but I know they're not the owner of it anymore. You can see the sign down there. Caribbean Airlines, yeah. Since I moved to Canada, this is the longest I've ever visited Jamaica. I usually come for maximum a month, but it's mostly 3 weeks on average, 3 weeks. So 2 months, that's a long time compared to the usual. I'm happy. So I got to spend time with my family, got to do a lot of things, ate so much, gained weight. Back to reality, back to reality. So I decided to get this drink. I think they said it's guava pineapple. So let's see how it tastes. There goes my ride. So I finished sanitizing, spraying the seat, and wiping it off. And wiping down everything, even the window. Everything I wiped off. Even the tray that I'm not going to use, just in case. I couldn't record anything because I didn't want to touch my phone again. So I made sure everything was clean, and then cleaned off my hands. Now I'm recording again. Yeah, it started to rain because I can't remember having a full sunny day in the past few weeks. It's always some point rainy, or it's cloudy all day. Just a lot of rain. But it's storm season because it's September. So I think August, September, around then is storm season. I really don't understand how some people think sometimes. So I saw this lady put down all her bags, including her purse, on the floor to sanitize her hand. And I'm like, the dirty floor. So that you're putting your bag on the dirty floor to sanitize your hand. Then you're gonna pick up your purse. You're gonna touch the part that you just put on the ground. Ew! Huh? I'm sure she's more safe leaving her hand the way it was, more than that whole step of putting it on the ground. Never understood people who put their school bag on the ground. People that know me know that if you want to fight, just put my bag on the ground. I don't know. I just always get grossed out by that. Or if you're going to the washroom and in school, then people put their bag on the floor. I never understood that. That's just gross. It took this pandemic for people to realize that they shouldn't do certain things. It's crazy. I'm happy about that. At least people are, more aware, and they're cleaning their hands and all of that. Even when this is all over, I hope they still maintain the cleanliness because it's important. I'm tired. Look at my eyes. Ugh.
And my skin just been hating me for like the past month or 3 weeks because I've been eating way out of the norm, so much cheese, just a whole bunch of dairy, and my skin is just like attacking me. I'm breaking out like crazy, so that's one reason I'm excited to go home. My skin will come back to normal. I'll show you guys the process in one day, in one video. Going back to Canada is definitely an easier process because coming down, it was a lot. So like I assumed, the flight is it's not that packed. It's more people than I thought it would be, but it's still pretty empty. The front is empty, the back is like, yeah, that many people, but it's not that much. It's a pretty empty flight. So Air Canada provides like a care package with water, sanitizer, and a mask. I think, what is this? I think this is a snack this time. And usually every time I go to Jamaica and then I go back to Canada and it's cold in Canada, I usually get sick. So I hope this doesn't happen this time because this is definitely not the season, not the place, not the time, not the year, not the month to be getting sick, having like even a cold. Okay, I wish I didn't stop recording because someone just like started coughing and then everyone just started looking around. So you see what I mean? That goes to show that sneezing and coughing is not a natural thing anymore. Ish. Now I'm on my way to get my bags. Let's see. Now I'm waiting for my bag. Oh, of course, one of my bags just passed.